at lucky episode 76 of 55 and 5. Ian Riccaboni, Cary Silkin, AJ, our producer from Bisson Creative and Web Design. Cary, we're back. We had a little bit of a vacation break, and we're ready to get all the way to number 80 this week.
Very good, and I'm going to wow you with my knowledge of these guys.
So if this is the first time you're joining us, 55 and 5, the concept is simple. 55 stands for the 1955. That's the Parkhurst Wrestling card set, released primarily in Canada, one of the few trading cards of wrestling at the time. 5 stands for the 5-minute history lesson we hope to provide you. Now, I have a safety net. I'm going to ask Cary who this individual on this card is. If Cary doesn't know, there's a good chance I don't know either. That's why I did some pre-research to figure it out. So, Cary, I'm going to show the fans at home this well-caped man on top of Uncle Gunny and Captain Albano, our spiritual advisors on this quest to do all 121. I'm taking a look at the timer. I'm going to get 5 minutes on it. And I'm going to ask you if you know who Waldo von Sieber is.
Well, I'm going to make a wild guess and say this is the man who became Waldo von Erich.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yay!
Yeah, that is
Well, I could talk about Waldo von Erich a little.
Yeah, please.
I had no idea that his career went back this far because coming up in my infancy of watching wrestling this is from 1966 up, Waldo von Erich, he came into the territory. He was probably in there before I was watching in the 60s.
Ding, ding, ding.
But he came back in the 70s.
Ding, ding, ding.
And he was, portrayed as your classic German heel.
Right.
He might have been portrayed as the brother of Fritz.
Yes, absolutely.
But he was a big star. He had a big run against Bruno.
Got a couple, and that's interesting. We'll get to that.
And but look at him.
Yeah, he's kind of a hunk.
He's a hunk.
He's got the nice cape and
he has
the bushy blonde hairdo.
Everything's in. Everything's working there.
Yeah. Waldo von Erich.
I never knew he went under the von Sieber, whatever.
It was brief. It was 4 years, and at least from the results we have, he was like many of the wrestlers discovered in a YMCA, exercising and working out. And why? He turned pro when he was 17, which would have been 1950. But the first result that we have is from 54. It's in Augusta, Georgia, where my brother was born.
Really?
And home of the Masters. So
I'm sorry, but do you know they had to edit YMCA? They had like a R-rated version.
Oh, I bet that song's about meeting in the.
Well, it was certainly PG, but.
Yeah.
The verse that they eliminated was something like this: you could get yourself clean, you could smoke some good dope, but don't bend over to pick up the soap.
Oh, no way! I have to look that up. I've never heard that, but wow.
Yeah. Jerry Weintraub or one of those guys said,
Well, the Waldo von Sieber, we don't know if he was doing any of that, but we do know he wrestled in Augusta, Georgia in 1954. Got his first big break as Waldo von Sieber teaming with Fritz von Erich.
We know his real name. You just say it and it went over me.
Yeah, I don't know his real name. Yeah. He turns into Waldo von Erich in Winnipeg. He teams with Fritz von Erich, teams with Hans Hermann, some of the other German wrestlers. Does Cleveland, Buffalo, Rochester. Goes to Capitol in 60.
Okay.
So that's his first run. And he teams with Pampero Firpo against Bruno and Rocca. And
Interesting.
They have some matches at the Garden. And they do a couple. They do DC, all those places. 61, 62 in Texas. He's headline runs in San Francisco and Minnesota with Fritz. And then he's one half of the WWF Tag Team Champions in 65, excuse me.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he was not champion with Fritz.
Correct. Do you have a guess?
Ooh, I do have a guess.
Yeah.
It's before Bill Watts.
Mm-hmm. Although he would wrestle him quite a few times.
Maybe Gorilla Monsoon?
Gene Kiniski.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat the Grahams.
Both Canadians. I think Waldo was Canadian.
Yep, he was. He was born in Toronto, and so he challenged Bruno after that as one half of the tag champs. He was such a huge name in Western Canada that there was a rare defense of the WWF title in Western Canada out there. And it was such a good matchup that Jim Barnett brought it to Australia.
Really?
In WCW, and it was the WWF title was defended in Australia.
I bet our friend Bushwhacker Luke knows Waldo and probably worked with him.
Yeah, I would have to guess.
In Australia.
In '68, he goes to Japan, teams with Luthez.
Wow.
And so that's a pretty big deal there. Comes back to Capital in '69 or WWF in '69, challenges Bruno again. So it's the third time they're facing each other and feuds with newly minted fans.
So am I wrong about his 70s run?
No, still going to get there too. He feuded with fan favorite Gorilla Monsoon, who had just become a fan favorite. Wrestled Sonny the Kodiak Bear in Tennessee.
Really?
In 1970. Had the Blitzkrieg knee drop. That was his big finish. Kind of like Ivan Koloff had the knee. He did as well.
So Sonny was an actual bear.
Sonny was an actual bear.
Sort of like Victor the Bear.
Right. And then 75, when Bruno gets the title again, guess who he headlines with in a number of locations?
Waldo
von Erich. His regular career kind of comes to an end on top in Georgia in 77. Feuds with Dusty Rhodes, Texas Deathmatch, Tony Atlas, Thunderbolt Patterson, Mr. Wrestling 2. He retires for good in 79.
Very good.
Yeah.
I wish you would have saved him for last.
Yeah, great career. Did you ever see him on TV?
Sure, I saw him and live.
Okay. Yeah. Did he have the presentation? I mean, right here,
he was thin there. I mean, he put on some weight.
Yeah.
And there's some good video.
He was very muscular in the 60s. Very just stout.
Yeah. He was tough.
Yeah.
He was tough, rough and tough.
Did they, when you saw him, there was periods of his career where earlier in the 60s, he had some of the more unflattering imagery of the Iron Cross. Things like that.
I think he still. I think he used to come to the ring wearing like the German helmet.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then I think by the 70s that had thankfully been phased out.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah. Well, we all know Bruno kicked his ass, and that's the right guy won in that situation. But a good career for Waldo, and kind of fun. And trivia note: do you know who his fictitious son was?
No.
Lance Von Erich.
Really?
Yeah, fictitious son. Even though Waldo was related to Fritz Von Erich's wife as a distant cousin, for real, Lance Von Erich and Waldo Von Erich not related. Lance Von Erich not related to the Cary David and the rest of the crew. So
very interesting.
Yeah, so we had a nice fake Von Erich, but a great wrestler, a headliner. And a fun addition to the set. I did not expect him to see him either. I didn't know his career dated that far back. Very good. Yep. So that is number 76. And tomorrow we'll bring in number 77, a man who's wrestled 10 matches. One of them was against George Scott. So that's your hint. It could be someone notable that had a very short career.
Didn't we do something with the Scott brothers?
We did. We did the Flying Scots.
And it came up that Sandy Scott
worked in WCW.
Not only that, he worked in Smoky Mountain. So he had a long career.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, you can join us tomorrow. We'll hit Sandy Scott too, because tomorrow might be a short one. 8 p.m. Eastern is when these premiere on 55and5.com. I want to thank AJ, our producer, Cary, and I'm Erich. Thanks for watching. Happy wrestling, everybody. Hope to see you tomorrow.